Now this is Lashley Park, folks, and when Jack stops you, if you look to your right front, to the very end, out there to the left of the condominiums, you'll see a sculpture out there. And it's most probably you can see a palm tree. And we keep turning, so now if you look to your right front, behind this tree, way out, there's the sculpture. See the palm tree, the metal palm tree? No, that way. There you go. See it? That's a metal palm. This is made, there's a tall palm tree, and there's also one beside it bending over. It's all made from trash from Hurricane Charlie, and it's sitting on a sanddial. And it's there to depict the resolve of the people of the area following Hurricane Charlie. Because if you weren't here, I was. Everything was broken. Peter can tell you. He was here. Jack was here. Everything was broken. Nothing worked for the longest time. We didn't have electric. We didn't have water for a long period of time. We could drive down the streets of Punta Gorda after they cleared the trash away. They didn't know where they were because the landmarks were gone. And we had great resolve, and the progress that has been made since that day in 2004, August the 13th, the progress has been remarkable. Here's an interesting mural that was painted since Charlie. Most of these murals have been painted since Hurricane Charlie because Charlie wrecked the original ones. But it just shows the underwater life of the area. Two gentlemen are depicted on it. Harry Goulding on the left. Harry Goulding is famous for his propagation of hibiscus. He created many, many varieties of hibiscus. And on the lower left of the picture, you see the red hibiscus. There's his famous lipstick red hibiscus. On the right is Phil Ashley. It was Phil Ashley's dream to have this park, a park as well as a city marina. He achieved his goal, and it's a splendid marina with an offshore mooring field as well for about 40 boats. They've had one so far, but they'll have more, I'm sure, in about 15, 20 days. More people will be here. Hotel. If you have an opportunity to go to the roof of the Wyvern, it's well worth the trip. It's a free trip up. If you want to drink, make sure you have your wallet with you. But the views up there are spectacular. Take a camera. It's marvelous. It's good. It's a true hotel, not a motel. This used to be the southern terminus of the Florida Southern Railroad that came to the area in 1886. Well, if you're going to make it the southern terminus, you might as well build a hotel. So your left, in this big open area, is where the Punta Gorda Hotel was. It was about 150 rooms. On each floor, they had 4 bathrooms. To your right, you see murals on the Charlevoix condos. There are 2 of them. The one on the far left depicts the hotel as it existed from about 1888 when it was built and completed to about 1925 when it was purchased by Cornelius Vanderbilt and Baron Collier. The people you see, Clarence Darrow, there's Henry Ford there, Thomas Edison, Mellon, Rockefeller, and the lady, I don't know if you're golf fans, that's Patty Berg. Patty Berg used to come here and put on golf lessons for the people in our local golf courses. That's Patty Berg. On the right is the hotel as it existed from 1925 till its demise in August of 1959 when it burned to the ground. After having had sprinklers installed And they had narrowed the hallways. Cornelius Vanderbilt narrowed the hallways so that they could put a bathroom in every room, with only the caretaker present. It burned to the ground. They said you could see the flames for 25 miles away. It was huge. Another foundation saved. The hotel, it was reported, it never made money. It was never open in the summer, and it was not always open in the winter. And the townspeople hated it because it was surrounded by a huge fence. So, in essence, it was segregated from the rest of the community. There's our new, since Hurricane Charlie, event and conference center. I refer to it affectionately as the Floodatorium, because if we get another hurricane, it's going to flood. They had a naming contest, and I wanted to name it the Floodatorium. My wife said, "No, that's tacky." but maybe. Well, let's hope not. Anyway, here's we had movie theaters in town way back when. On the left, before the talkies came, they had the silent, and then Mr. Deswin purchased the theater and renamed it to New Theater. You can see they charged 25 cents a ticket for adults, and it was 10 cents for kids. On the right, you see Mr. Deswin's son, Vic, shining the flashlight into the balcony, which was adults only. But occasionally, the kids would sneak up there, and even the fathers sometimes were let into the theater so that they could check and see if their daughter was doing any hanky-panky up there in that balcony. And it probably were rare. Now, over on the other side of town, we had another theater. Remember, it was segregated. That's where the blacks were. So at the conclusion of the movie, here, Vic's son would get on his bicycle and take the film reels over to the other side of town so that the other people could view the movie as well. And that theater burned to the ground. I should say, was governor from 1909 to 1913, but he had a tough task getting there because Carrie Nations came to town, and she of the suffrage, she didn't want people drinking alcohol. So she won. Of course, they had prohibition, but so did he. He overcame it all and became governor from 1909 to 1913. A very well-liked man. He came back home to live in a hotel. To our left, the Yoga Sanctuary, one of the older buildings in town, 1920s, roughly. It was owned by Mr. Babcock of the Babcock Ranch fame. The next building we see is the Women's Club building that exists still today. It was built in the early 1920s, and it still is active as a women's club today. People have meetings in there, and I mentioned the Civil Improvement Association Women's Club. They also had the Married Ladies Club in there, and the married ladies were apparently properly attired and gloved, and they sat around drinking tea and making polite conversation. What do you think they were talking about, fellas? Yes, and I also bet they were talking about that renegade group of ladies, the Civic Improvement, who had the rattlesnake fights. Yes, Debbie. On your right here. She's not going there. Looks like she's going to her car. There's a sign of the original name. Tribute is the name of this bar right here now. It's kind of a tapas bar.
Charles Peck painted that.
It looks like derivative of what Monet or
There's a mural up ahead on the right that was not commissioned by the Historical Society, but it was commissioned by the bar owner. Show you. This is Shorty's place, and another great watering hole. And Shorty lives up, or should I say, down to her name. She's really short, about 4'10". And in there you can have, they have as many beers in there as they have in the ice house. And boy, are they good.